The film opens in India. A lady recounts to her child the narrative of the god Hanuman. The legend tells that the monkey god consumed the sun, and as discipline, different divine beings stripped him of his powers. In the current day in Yatana, the child has turned into a contender referred to just as youngster. He wears a monkey cover and battles in underground competitions at a spot called Tiger's Sanctuary. Kid gets beaten in his most recent battle. The club's proprietor, Tiger, shorts youngster on his profit notwithstanding his fights. Kid gets data from a kid in the city over a lady named Queenie Kapoor, who runs a house of ill repute called Rulers and is associated with a master named Baba Shakti, a figure that has an association with youngster's past. Kid has a road hoodlum take Queenie's wallet while she is at an outside cafe, which he later revisitations of her at the Lord's lodging. She gives him cash to send him out the door, however youngster figures out how to persuade Queenie to enlist him for whatever work no other person needs to do. Kid starts working in the kitchen under the name Bobby. He gets to know a collaborator, Alfonso, Pitobosh, and is observer to how savage Queenie is at her particular employment. Kid later goes downtown to a mysterious region to purchase a little weapon. At work, he persuades Alfonso to go to Tiger's Sanctuary to wager on youngster's adversary for the night to bring in simple cash as an impetus to assist youngster with getting advanced and work his direction to the highest point of Lords. During the match, youngster follows through with his promise that he would win the initial two adjusts, however go down in the third. Alfonso gets youngster to begin working at the upper degrees of Lords to watch out for the greater clients, including head of police Rana Singh, who is one of youngster's fundamental targets. Kid observes one of the new young ladies, Sita, looking awkward around one of the men, and he leaves before he surrenders to the allurement of going after him. They talk outside after she sees him taking care of a lost canine, and she lets him know he ought not be working in a spot like that. Over a particular period of time, youngster rehearses for a showdown until he is conceded admittance into the celebrity floor. He observes Rana getting a lap dance from Sita and slips him a vial of polluted cocaine. This brings Rana into the washroom where youngster endeavors to face him at gunpoint, however is diverted by a close-by hooligan, which offers Rana a chance to strike youngster. They get into a fierce battle, with the other hooligan winding up dead, however Rana almost kills youngster until he figures out how to wound him in the face. Kid starts to run out of the structure, however needs to fend off different shooters. Kid escapes with Alfonso in his cart and escapes, however they get smashed into by a greater amount of Rana's bad police. Alfonso escapes by walking while youngster is kidnapped. Kid recovers cognizance toward the rear of a police cart before he swipes a firearm and kills the watchman toward the back, then, at that point, advances out. He goes through a house of ill repute where different hooligans endeavor to kill him, incorporating one with a hatchet. Kid chomps his nose off before he has chance in the head by additional approaching shooters. Kid advances toward the housetops and runs until a chopper up above shoots him and sends him falling into the waterway. Kid later awakens in a sanctuary of Ardhanarishvara, an objective of Baba Shakti's gathering because of them being a local area of trans individuals, and is welcomed by the head cleric, Alpha, Vipin Sharma. She has youngster viewed the sculptures of Shiva and Parvati prior to making sense of their accounts. Individuals of the sanctuary have likewise watched out for youngster's injuries. While he recuperates and invests energy among individuals, Baba Shakti has learned of the assault on Rana. Shakti advises Rana to guarantee that youngster is managed rapidly, as notwithstanding him being no one worth mentioning, he can rapidly develop to be someone that will bring down their entire domain. Alpha addresses youngster secretly and comprehends that he is conveying a profound aggravation in him. She gives him a psychedelic powder to ingest to direct him through an enlivening. Through a flashback, it is shown that Baba Shakti requested Rana and his men to attack youngster's town and butcher everyone and setting everything burning. Neela concealed him, yet he had to observe her as Rana physically and genuinely attacked her before he choked her. He then had his men set her body ablaze, with youngster attempting to no end to resuscitate her when they left, and for that reason his body is canvassed in consume marks. Kid begins to prepare himself to recover his solidarity, while Shakti's contender for the sovereign party, Adesh Joshi, begins to ascend in the surveys. Talk is as of now happening with respect to their treatment of minorities, however Shakti seems to influence popular assessment in support of himself notwithstanding. At the sanctuary, a young lady is beaten by Rana's men after the sanctuary is given an expulsion notice. Kid gets back to Tiger's sanctuary and has the young man from prior bet on him for the triumph. Youngster's most memorable rival, Ruler Cobra, who crushed him toward the start, goes down effectively when youngster conveys a quick kick and takes him unconscious. He is then set facing a lot bigger rival called Baloo the Bear. In spite of him setting up a lot fiercer battle, youngster routs Baloo and procures the groups, which incorporates a pleased Alfonso, cheers of Monkey Man. Youngster has the little fellow gather his profit and give it to the Ardhanarishvara sanctuary. On the night of Diwali, Joshi is chosen for power, and a festival is held at Lord's. Kid shows up in his monkey cover and continues to severely thrash the safety officers prior to directing Alpha's contenders inside and aiding kill different watchmen. As Shakti's kin are observing Joshi's triumph, youngster enters the structure with an exacting bang subsequent to lighting a firecracker and touching off a gas canister. He continues to destroy Shakti's men all through the structure before he is cornered with an entire crew of hooligans. The Ardhanarishvara champions show up and help youngster in battling the hooligans. Queenie arises with a weapon and attempts to kill youngster, however Sita whacks her over the head with a supper plate, killing her. Kid then, at that point, cuts off Queenie's thumb with the plate and advances up. Kid enters Rama's floor and has a rematch with him. Rama makes another valiant effort, however youngster acquires the high ground and continues to beat Rama's head with a stiletto, thumping him down each time he attempts to get up. Rama at long last has enough, and youngster beats him until he at last airs out his skull. He then utilizes Queenie's thumb to advance toward the top. Kid at long last goes to face Baba Shakti. He endeavors to utilize his fake quiet techniques to move toward youngster, yet he won't have it. Shakti shows youngster his padukas, shoes, that were made by one of his dedicated supporters, to keep his feet from hurting anything living. As youngster is occupied by a chopper's lights, Shakti takes out a shiv from the padukas and cuts youngster in the stomach. Before he can convey a killing blow, youngster allows his hand to get speared with the other shiv and wrecks Shakti, wounding him in the chest over and over. Shakti then, at that point, asks for kindness, and youngster answers that no one but God can excuse him now. Kid then drives the shiv into Shakti's head. He gazes toward a picture of Hanuman as he sees one last flashback of his mom before he slouches over.